Alright guys, another episode of Tweak and Tune. So here we go. We got the radiator support, the ProCharger radiator support painted and fitted, trial fitted. Everything's holding up. Everything is in line. I mean, eventually you're going to see the holes will line up. I even painted the top of these screws. So they're going to hold everything down. The little bracket here. I just want to go over a few things while you have something like this apart. It doesn't have to be this car. It doesn't have to be a supercharged V8. It could be a turbocharged 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, supercharger, turbocharger, whatever it may be. This is really important. Really, really important, because it's kind of like a waste of time if you don't, tackle this the right way. Leaks. Boost and vacuum leaks. I mean, it's going to affect your overall drivability, your idle, your performance. I mean, you lose a pound, it's a pound. You lose a pound of boost. It could be 60 horsepower, it could be 20 horsepower, whatever. You're still losing performance. And I'm going to tell you a few things which probably everybody knows, but do they really take that extra mile to prevent that? Okay, so over here on the bench, let me get some light in here. Sorry about the light still. We're going to work on these things. Over here on the bench, we have the ProCharger Air box again. So this right here, this 1/4-inch Allen head plug, is where the IAT will go, or would go. But we didn't do that. I'm shooting my methanol into this box with 2 7-gallon nozzles. One goes there, and the other one goes on the opposite side. Right there in that hole. Whether this was the best spots to put them, at the time it just made sense to me because the air is coming in from one intercooler. I'm still running the twin intercooler setup on the Camaro, the ProCharger setup. I got the upgraded intercoolers, but it's still the stock ProCharger configuration. So you got air coming in here, boosted air. You got boosted air coming in here, and I put the nozzles here, one here and one there, figuring, okay, the air's coming in this way and the methanol's shooting this way towards this, and then whatever it does collides and it'll boom that way. That's the way I seen it, because now the IAT was here, would have been here, which is fine, but I decided to put it in a pipe and sandwich it between 2 SLP bellows. Look at those things. Remember these things back in the day? So 2 of those. One goes to the ProCharger box, then the pipe, and then the ProCharger box. I just felt that it passing in the middle here, that my IATs would be more accurate than at the box. Like the amount of methanol coming through this pipe, because you got the 2 squirting that way and the 2 air intakes that way. I just felt that it would be better here. The amount of methanol passing through it and atomized air and the temperature there. I just felt that would be better. But it's up to you. I mean, some guys will put it right in the pipe. I just felt it was going to, if I was going to do 2 nozzles, one on this side and then one on this side, would have been too close to the IAT for an accurate measurement. But over here, I figured it was, I still think it's a better way of doing it. Seems to work. No more mass air causing speed density. That's what you have to do when you're tuning over basically 7, 8, 9 pounds of boost on an LS with the early computers. So it isn't speed density, and you do need that IAT. That's very important. So anyway, again, with the boost leaks, I took these all off to paint the box and reinforce the box, as you know by now. But go over the couplers. I mean, these things are like 6-ply, 5-6-ply. But go over them anyway. Check them. Make sure they're not cracked and dry rotted. These will probably last forever. They're so spongy and durable, and they ain't going nowhere. So go over everything. Use the good clamps, the T-bolts. If you have to use worm clamps, you know, it's not really required that you have to use T-bolt clamps on the inlet side, like the air filter side, to the turbo or to the supercharger. It's not really required. In fact, it's kind of a waste. But if you have a cold air kit that's kind of like on the loose end and you don't have it like nice and bracketed up with brackets and stuff, you might want to consider the T-bolts even in that case, because it will sturdy it up somewhat. But it's not really required. So for the most part, it's definitely required on the boost side, which is everything here, 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 here. But go over the clamps, go over your couplers. You know, if you got to use the 2 and 3 ply, I don't even know if they make 2 ply anymore, but they make 3. And this, when I count it, is at least 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 layers of rubber and 4, 1, 2, 3, either 4 or 5 layers of cord. You know, that's what you're going to want to use, you know. The ProCharger setup, they give you a rubber hose. Sorry about the lighting, but they give you a rubber hose. And, you know, check that too. It's thick. It's definitely 3 ply, maybe 4. Actually, that wouldn't be ply because it's rubber. But it's thick. It's pretty damn thick. But go over it, check it. I mean, that's really heavy duty hose, this stuff. So, you know, I don't think there's going to be an issue with it. You know, it's pretty sturdy. I never had an issue with it. It's been on here for 10 years. But go over everything. Make sure there's no leaks. You know, the motor's done, guys. You build the motor, it's done. You put it in, it's done. It's everything else. You know, and I'm not an engine builder. I'm not a transmission builder. That's not my job. That goes to somebody else, and they do it, and that's it. Yes, I can blueprint it. Yes, I can tell them what parts, Callie's rods, Eagle rods, Lunati can't, whatever the hell. I can blueprint it that way on paper, but I do not build it, you know. That's done. And you guys ain't building it either for the most part. This is your job, making sure things like this, and this is what goes wrong, and this is what, when it's all done, this is your cherry on top. This is your whipped cream, you know. So anything like that. Catch cans, I take myself, basically, I consider myself an expert with catch can systems, especially on LS stuff. They say it's not required on the Typhoon, but I have them on there too. This has a 3-way catch can system. An Accurate Machine Works, a Vented All-Star, vented and baffled, and you got this little K-Motion guy. That's for my intake. So I'm always pulling PCV. I'm always pulling PCV, and I'm always on ventilated fresh air. So I consider myself an expert with that. I've been through it all, and I made it work. Grand National check valve. It's not really considered a Grand National check valve, but it is the check valve the Grand National guys do, minus the nut. Minus the nut. They machine that down, and they trick you, and they push it into the intake manifold, and they call it a Grand National check valve. You know, still running a PCV valve in here. Don't have to do it on LS2s and 3s because they're built into the, it's an orifice, it's built in. And I got an LS6 valley cover. But we'll get into that later on. Like I said, this is your job. This is your time. This is the way you do your homework. And this is, believe it or not, this is half of it. More than half of it. It's more important. Once the motor's done, it's done. You got a good engine, a good machine shop, a good engine builder, it's done. Now it's your time. Now it's your turn to tweak and tune it. Anyway, guys, till next time, bang out of here.